What does it mean to have a north node in your 8th house? Watch this video where I'm sharing everything you need to know about the north node in the 8th house and the south node in the 2nd house. Hello and welcome to Making Mindfulness Fun. I'm Isabelle, the co-founder and personality expert here at Making Mindfulness Fun. I help you understand who you are using personality types. Today, I'm talking about an aspect in astrology, which is one of the aspects I consider the most important to know in your birth chart. There are 3 aspects I consider really important to know in your birth chart, which is your moon, your Lilith, and your north node. These show the most important parts of yourselves, and by knowing them, you can really step into your highest path to growth in this lifetime. They're the most bang for your buck to know. So today, I'm talking about the north node, and the north node in a specific house, the 8th house. Me and Gabby are covering a series currently on the north node through the signs, which are the zodiac archetypes, but this is a series that I'm doing by myself about the house it's in. So what is the difference between it being in a sign versus a house? Note that your north node is always going to be in a sign and in a house, and there's a big difference between these two, but knowing the combination is really important because the sign that your north node is in represents the archetypal energy you need to learn to embrace. That's where you read your chart and you say your north node's in Gemini or Taurus or Cancer. That is the sign that it's in, and that's the sign that the north node was in at your time of birth. Usually it changes signs about every year, so people within the same year range will have the north node in the same sign. However, your houses that your north node are going to be in is going to be very different based off of your time of birth, because the houses are dictated by your time of birth. So this makes your north node combination really unique to you. So knowing your north node and what sign it's in will tell you the archetype energy you need to embrace, but knowing the house it's in is going to tell you what area of life you need to focus on. There are 12 houses in astrology, and these represent the 12 main areas of our lives. And each house is associated with a different zodiac archetype. So Aries is 1st house, Taurus is 2nd house. That is what the houses were built off of. And this can help us when understanding what each house means and what it means to have that house in our north node. So really quick, before I dive into what it means to have a north node in your 8th house, what is a north node in the first place if you don't even know? Maybe you just pulled up your chart, or you know a general overview of what the north node is, but you don't quite fully understand why it's so impactful or why you should know about your north node in the first place. The north node is our highest path to growth in this lifetime, and always opposing the north node is your south node. And these are an opposition, a dynamic that always works together. It's just as important to know your north node as it is to know your south node because they're tied together. So always opposite of your north node will be your south node. And your south node represents your overused gifts and talents that limit you in this lifetime now. If you believe in reincarnation, it is also said that the south node is our past life karma. It's the energy we mastered in our past incarnation that now limits us now. And if you don't believe in reincarnation, just think of it as the traits that we overuse that keep us limited. Overall, south node is our stress and our north node is our growth in this lifetime. When we step into our north node, the universe tends to reward us. It likes that we're stepping into our highest growth. We are elevating our frequency. We are pushing ourselves to be more than what we were. We're breaking free of energetic karma, so the universe will make things manifest faster, whether it's health, wealth, or relationships, or love. Whatever it is you're trying to bring into your reality, the universe rewards you when you step into your north node. So how can you step into your north node if your north node's in your 8th house? The 8th house is the house that is associated with Scorpio. So there's some Scorpio themes that come up with people who have a north node in 8th house. The 8th house is all about the shadow realm, is what I like to think of it. Not to be confused with the 12th house. The 12th house is associated with Pisces, which is all about our subconscious and fears, whereas the 8th house is about deep desires. After all, the 8th house comes after the 7th house. The 7th house is all about starting collaborations, starting one-on-one partnerships. So once we start those partnerships, 8th house is where we take those partnerships and dive deep. So there's a lot of depth and intimacy that comes in as themes with the 8th house. So oftentimes, if you read descriptions of the 8th house, you're going to see the words death, rebirth, sexuality, inheritance, and that can sound really vague. Frankly, it sounds vague to me. Anytime I saw the 8th house for the longest time, I didn't really understand what it's about. So I like to think of the 8th house as our deepest desires. And when it comes to our deepest desires, we also have to recognize our deepest shadows. And so some shadow work can come into play when we have a north node in 8th house. And opposite of the 8th house is the 2nd house. The 2nd house represents Taurus. So where 8th house is Scorpio, all about the deep desires and forming closer connections, shared resources and finances, the 2nd house is about self-sufficiency, the material world, material security, so to say. So people with a south node in their 2nd house tend to be overly focused on providing for themselves from a young age. They think that all there is to life is their material security that's around them, and they can go about chasing maybe the next house or secure home or their resources or the next car, thinking that's what they need for fulfillment. But eventually they're going to realize that this is not what is most fulfilling to them. They find that no matter how much material transaction that they make, no matter how much material security they provide, it's not fulfilling that feeling of fulfillment to the fullest. And that's because their north node is in their 8th house, which is all about realizing that there's more to life than just the material self-sufficient security in the world, and that joy can be found through something deeper. What do you value instead of what appears to have value? They have to question really what they put value on and what brings them the deepest fulfillment they can imagine. What are their deepest desires, and how can they share their resources with other people and have more shared finances, shared space to bring people closer to them and to form more intimate relationships. And this can be huge for your growth path as a north node 8th house. Depending on what sign your north node is in as well, will show what your deep desires tend to be and what shadows you need to face. So not only is the north node in 8th house about sharing your resources and coming to realize your deepest desires, but in order to recognize your deepest desires, you have to do shadow work. Face your shadows. What are your unhealthy manipulative behaviors that you might be playing out? A lot of times with a south node in 2nd house, we think that everything is two-dimensional. Think of it as 2nd house two-dimensional, that there's just money, everything that's on the surface. But we never look at what is something deeper, and that can be very uncomfortable for a north node in their 8th house. They already mastered in their past life how to keep things on the surface, how to maintain material security, and so now going into those deep realms can feel awkward and uncomfortable and wrong. But this is your path to growth in this lifetime if you have a north node in 8th house, is to look at those shadows. And what people with a north node in 8th house can find is that by looking at their shadows and seeing maybe their programming, their fears, the things that used to limit them, how they're acting from unhealthy or manipulative behaviors, they can heal themselves, form better, healthier, closer relationships with other people, and realize that there's a whole nother realm to living that they didn't even realize was possible. So it's really important for people with a north node in their 8th house, not only to just form a relationship with someone and start sharing all their finances or sharing their space or forming an intimate relationship, but it's also important for them to form an intimate relationship with themselves first. Get really comfortable with all those parts of yourselves that you've maybe hid from or you consider unhealthy. Get really intimate with yourself, and so that you can form intimate relationships with other people. If you enjoyed this video and it helped you understand the north node in 8th house and south node in 2nd house, please leave a comment below and let me know how you have stepped into your path to growth as a north node in 8th house and what else you're struggling with. And if you want more one-on-one help with moving through your path to growth as a north node 8th house and not just acquire the information, hit the link in the description below to join Be the Hero, our group membership where we're guiding people every single day on how to step into their north node and overcome their programming so that they can be creators of their reality and not just victims. This can help you, by stepping into your north node so much, can help you not only just feel like you're on your highest path to growth and feel more spiritual, but like I said, it helps the universe support you. The universe likes it when we step into our highest path to growth. And so your health can improve, your money abundance can improve, especially if you're on the north node 8th house, south node 2nd house journey. You can see huge increases in your finances by stepping into your north node, and your relationships can be so much healthier and thriving rather than just feeling like everything's this lifeless contract. So hit the link below to join Be the Hero Academy. We would love to see you there. I'm actually doing a live event on the North Nodes and using them for New Year's resolutions starting in 2023. So hit the link below to join Be the Hero now so you don't miss that live. And if you're more new to astrology, or you just want to figure out how you can use your astrology instead of just acquiring the information about your chart, hit the link below to get my free birth chart workbook where I walk you through how to understand the basics of your chart and apply them so that you can use them to benefit benefit your life. The link is below for both of those. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for further videos on the North Node through the houses. I am leaving on a ski trip though as I am filming this, so it might be a while before I show up again and talk about the North Nodes, but I will try to get back to you guys as soon as possible and keep creating content for you wonderful subscribers. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on those post notifications, and stay tuned. From my heart to yours, namaste.